Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by.
I'm Connor from Shadow Smile.
It's great to be chatting to you this evening. Can you tell us a little bit about your band and who are your biggest influences?
We're a four-piece metal band. We're based in Sheffield. We're not all from Sheffield, but that's kind of our middle ground where we meet and do everything pretty much. I'd say our biggest influences are like we all agree on a few. Like we have influences that we pull from everywhere, but the ones we tend to agree on are kind of like Avenged Sevenfold, Ghost, a bit of Bring Me the Horizon, Metallica. So a lot of the really big bands we all agree on. But then we kind of pull influences from all over the place as well. Everything from like Queen and Guns N' Roses right through to like Dr. Dre and electronic stuff like Daft Punk as well. So there's quite an eclectic bunch of influences that we argue over a lot.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, that was a bit of a different sort of band to come up with. Cool. All right. So, where do you draw your inspirations and ideas from? You've recently released a single, haven't you?
Yeah, we just put out Suck the World Dry, which is the third single from our upcoming album, which comes out in August. But this album, we take influence from all different places, whether it's kind of world events or just our own personal lives. But this album's a kind of a study of the seven deadly sins and how they kind of affect modern day life as opposed to the religious context. It's more of how they affect modern society. So this song we've just put out, "Suck the World Dry," is about gluttony, and the modern day approach we took with that was how humankind is so resource hungry and kind of we see things, we have to consume it, whether that be food or oil or it just data or technology and every aspect like that. So we tried to get a little bit cerebral with it, and yeah, it came out pretty well.
Awesome. I love it, mate. So, what's the responses been like then from your fans and media to that song?
Really, really positive, and it was a weird one because it was a bit of a curveball in some ways because we put a saxophone solo on it, which was
Yeah.
so I'm a massive fan of like classic horror films, and I don't know if you've ever seen The Lost Boys
Yes, love it.
from the 80s.
That's my era, man. Yeah.
I love it. That's my favorite film of all time, and there's a saxophone player in the middle who's all oiled up, and we're like that needs to be back in metal. And hard rock used to have these like big sax solos, or you'd have like the old organ solo. Now it's such a missing part of that, and we were like we're going to put that in a song. So that took some people back, and especially a few like critics were kind of like, what the hell are they doing? But no, we really like it, and the fans have been really on board with it so far. So yeah, hopefully the more people hear it, the more people like it. I think so.
Cool. So the album gets released in August. Will you be releasing anything before then? Any other singles, do you think?
No, I think this is the last one we'll release before the album, because we put out three so far, and yeah, I think we've got to leave some for the album. There's another five on there. We will be doing videos and stuff for each one after the album's out, because we like to have a visual representation of everything because we're just that kind of band. But yeah, so until the album, it'll be that, and then yeah, more singles post album, and then we're pretty much going to crack straight on with the next stuff as well because we've already got ideas floating around. So yeah, it's going to be pretty non-stop.
Excellent. I mean, the world's pretty fucked up at the moment. It was really fucked up. I mean, you can get lots of inspiration and ideas from what's going on, I
Really,
guess. Yeah,
yeah, it's flowing.
it is, man. Okay, so what about, I mean, we're sort of coming into summer now. I mean, what are your plans tour and festival wise? Have you got anything big lined up?
We've got a couple of things. We've got the Rockmantic Weekenders, which are in, I'm going to say, Grimsby and Carlisle later in the year, and we've also got a next month we've got a thing called Shadow Fest, which is a fundraiser for the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, which will be great. We've just done a couple of festivals already, so our festival season was quite early this year. It was quite weird.
Yeah.
Normally they're kind of late through summer. We had a lot spring and summer this year. So yeah, just with the album completion, we've had to miss a couple of festivals, but we'll be going into full tour mode as well come autumn. So it's the machine's getting ready to go at the minute. That's greasing up the gears and getting it ready.
Excellent, man. I mean, are you going to do a UK tour and hopefully head over to mainland Europe?
Yeah, that's the plan. I think UK this year, hopefully main or beginning of next year. That's where we're looking. The logistics are so strange in the sort of post-COVID landscape, and like whether we can get vans and buses and things on the other side is to be decided. So it's so difficult to know what exactly we're going to be doing with the Europe thing. But yeah, fingers crossed next year is going to be mainland. But we should see most of the UK this year, I think.
Brilliant. So, what would you say has been the band's biggest accomplishment so far? Is that going to happen in August?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in terms of a live thing, we just played Call of the Wild Festival on the main stage, which was great. We got a really great reaction from that. So that was quite a big deal for us. But yeah, I mean, we crowdfunded the album. So I think that's probably the biggest achievement for me is building that community that was willing to part with their money to allow us to make the piece of art that we want to make. And it's been really, really freeing because we've not had to deal with any, label interference or management interference. We've just gone, we can do this on our terms now because we don't have to beg anyone for the money. It's all here. So I think the crowdfund is probably my personal thing I'm most proud of. But I think the album's the biggest achievement creatively as well because we put out several singles, in the past, but to really get to do a big body of work and put out this vision that we've had in the working for a year or so is. I mean, I hope people like it because I'm going to be good if they don't.
I'm sure they will, man. I'm sure they will do, honestly. All right, and so going back to touring then, who would be the three bands to go out on the ultimate tour with, dead or alive?
Oh gosh, for me, I can't speak for the whole band, but for me, it would be Metallica, just because it's a bit of a seal of approval if you tour with Metallica. I think all the big bands tour with Metallica. Um, Oh gosh, Metallica, probably Avenged Sevenfold because they're the one band that all the members of our band like. Like we disagree on so many things, but they're the one thing that we all agree on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Queen, but 1986 Queen, so that I can tour with Freddie and everything. I think that would be because Freddie's my favorite performer ever. So I'd really like to have been able to be around at that time and have toured with Queen. So yeah. Not very metal response, really, but
All right, man. It's good. It's good. All right. So then, who do you think influenced the world of metal rock music more than any other person?
Wow. I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I think probably without meaning to, I think Paul McCartney maybe because when Helter Skelter, I think that's like the first metal song for me, or you've got Iron Butterfly within a Garda Davida or Helter Skelter, and which one's the first metal song? But I think Paul McCartney's vocal when he does some of those high belting parts on those rockier songs was really laid the groundwork for people like Robert Plant and the people that came next. I think so. I think McCartney's definitely did a lot for metal without probably he probably hates it as well. I bet he's gutted that he did that. So, but either him or I'm going to say Ozzy because Ozzy's Ozzy's iconic. Or in terms of sorry, I have to give about 8 answers for every question. But in terms of the way metal looks and things, I think Gene Simmons is one as well. From a marketing perspective.
Oh yeah,
I think just gets it and gets what people want to see and that flamboyance and that flair for theatre and all that kind of thing. So yeah, out of those three though, I don't know who I'd pick.
right. I don't think McCartney hates metal. I think I can't remember, it was an awards in America, and Slayer were doing like Angel of Death live at its awards, and he was like rocking out to that. Like he loved it.
Oh really?
Yeah. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to YouTube that. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago either. So next one then. What would you say is the most important thing to the band right now?
Ooh, definitely. Well, the most important things is definitely, like I said, we crowdfunded everything. We've spent a lot of time nurturing this community, and we've made a lot of friends through it. So I think I'm not going to call it a fan base. I think a community that we've now got that is around the band. It's a really weird situation. It kind of reminds me of a much smaller version of like the Grateful Dead had back in the day, where people had kind of make their own merch, and we've started to get to the point where a few people started getting tattoos of the band and things, and it's just like
Awesome.
it feels so weird, but it's really like it feels like we're part of something bigger now. So I think that community is the most important thing. The most important goal is the album, but the most important thing is that community that we've got together, which yeah, it keeps us going, to be honest.
Awesome. So then the next thing then about tattoos, have you got a Shadow Smile tattoo yourself yet?
I
You must
haven't.
have. No?
We keep saying that other people have got them. We really need to get them. So I think we're going to get some. We're going to get matching ones. I think.
Yeah.
There's a few different images that we've got because we've kind of weirdly we've only put out a few singles, but because we formed just before lockdown, we did a lot of things online while lockdown was on, and we kind of went through a couple of different eras. So we had quite a lot of different imagery going on. So there's quite a few things we could pick. So I don't know what we're going to get, but I think we are all going to get matching ones. And I think a few of our like wives and girlfriends have said that they want to get them as well. So it's people are definitely in it for the long haul with Shadow Smile. I don't know what it is about it, but people seem to be quite dedicated.
Cool. So Shadow Smile, why was that decided as a name, and what other names did you come up with? Can you remember?
So we were. It comes from another of my favorite films, The Crow, which I've not
Nice.
actually watched for years. But
Nice.
there's a song in that by The Cure called Burn.
Mhm.
And there's a line in that song that says, just paint your face the shadow smile. And I was like, Shadow Smile's quite a cool thing. So we originally titled the song Shadow Smile.
Right.
But then we were kind of like, actually, I think I prefer it as a band name. So it was never actually intended as a band name. It was we were going to be called uh, we were going to be called Digital God, but then that became a song. So it kind of
Nice.
flipped.
Right.
So yeah. So Shadow Smile was a better name, we thought. So
That is
yeah.
really cool. All right. So if you could do a cover of a song by any band, which would it be? Sorry, it's the next question again, mate. If you could do a cover of any song, which one would it be and why?
I'd really like to do at Halloween, and I might do this. I'm talking to our producer about it now. I want to do "Cry Little Sister" from the Lost Boys at
Yeah,
Halloween
yeah.
because I think that'd be a cool thing to do. Yeah, I just think it'd be a nice Halloween thing to do. That's not too serious, but it's just a bit of content for the fan base, and also I really like the song as well. I think it's really, really cool. I like the vocal, the choir in there. So we'd have to find a kids choir somewhere that was willing to do it. But yeah, I think that'd be the one. Cry Little Sister by I think it's by Gerard McMahon.
Right. So would you approve of a Lost Boys like they have to redo everything these days, don't they? Do you think a Lost Boys like they redid the film? Would you approve of that?
I just don't think it needs it. I think it's
Uh,
it's quite a timeless film. Like a lot of the old horrors are, I think, quite timeless. And
mm.
I mean, I'm sure they'll do it.
No, they
They've
will.
been about it, haven't they? But, I mean,
Run out of ideas for everything, haven't they? So yeah.
yeah, it's rubbish. I mean, it's going to be like a remake of Lost Boys written by AI, isn't it? That's what we're going to
Yeah,
get. And,
they wouldn't be the
yeah,
same.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'd probably watch it just out of some sort of morbid curiosity, but I don't want them to do it. I think it needs to be left alone, and because it's
Yeah,
such a. I mean, I wasn't around in the '80s, but it feels so '80s, and like it's like a time capsule, but at the same time, it feels weirdly current and timeless. So, yeah, a lot of this, like Highlander's another one. I don't know if you've seen
oh,
Highlander,
I love
but
Howlander, mate. Yeah, I love it. It's
well, that's
fantastic.
that's that's
Just
where I got my name. It's my mum's favorite film. She's
really,
got
all right,
Honor
okay,
in the Cloud,
that's
but
cool.
uh, yeah, I just think that like because they keep talking about remaking it with Jason Momoa, and I'm like, what? Why would you do that? That's a
Uh,
terrible idea. But
it is. It
nothing
really is.
against him, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, but it's
yeah,
like, I mean, I love all of those films you're talking about, but it's like Point Break is one of my favorite films. You know, with Patrick Swayze in it, and the
yeah.
remake of that is just like,
I haven't seen the remake.
I don't,
I just think I
don't
don't.
bother.
I'm not bothered.
Just don't bother. Honestly, I love that film. I really do. Um, all right, and so the next one then. If there was a heavy metal song about yourself, what would it be called?
Wow. I'm gonna say because we have a bit of a running gag in the band that we're kind of all vampires and stuff, and we have kind of little different characters. It's all a little bit tongue in cheek, but
Yeah.
people kind of like it. But mine's the vampire aristocrat because I
Okay.
quite like nice things and I like nice wines and nice. I drink loose leaf tea in a china cup, and people
There you
say I'm
go.
a bit like an aristocrat like that. So Yeah, the Vampire Aristocrat would be my title.
Love it, man. Love it. All right. So, can you tell us why we should check out and listen to your band?
It's really good. So that's my answer. I just think, like it's all art at the end of the day, and some people will like it, some won't. But I think we're doing something a little bit different, and we're trying to be as creative and open-minded with the music we make as possible. Um, and yeah, I just think, we do what we do. I think it's fairly unique. I don't think there's anyone doing anything. We're all metal bands at the end of the day, but I think there's a lot of scope for different things, and we've got that kind of theatricality going on that I think a lot of bands, especially at our level, aren't doing. So yeah, I just think it's a good time to get on board before we get massive, isn't it? So
Absolutely. And you're gonna, guys, you're gonna absolutely. All right.
well,
So
we'll
can you give
see.
us,
Fingers
you will, man.
crossed.
You will. Yeah, hopefully, and I'm sure you will. Okay, so can you give us them 4 words to describe Shadow Smile?
Uh, I'm going to say hard rock metal pantomime.
Love it.
That's
Yeah,
mine. That's my
love it, man.
thing. I
Love it.
think because we tread that line between hard rock and metal so much that's
Mhm.
when we first started out, we were getting put on like all these hardcore shows, and we just didn't fit in. It was like it went down okay, but it was just like this is the wrong metal for us. We then
Mhm.
we tried the rock shows and we were too heavy for that. But then we've got the theatrical element, and I like the pantomime element. I think it's that campy kind of fun to it. So
Brilliant. All right, so now finally, then it's fast 5 questions. Yeah, so try not to think too much. So the first one is favorite album,
uh, Use Your Illusion by Guns N' Roses.
favorite drink.
A Lafroig single malt.
Oh, that's posh. Um, favorite food.
A medium rare ribeye steak.
Cool. Favorite pastime.
Um, Walking at the moment.
Right. And final one, favorite inspirational person.
Wow. I'm gonna say Jordan Peterson at the moment,
Okay.
which is a
Yeah, that's
controversial one, but I like him. So
yeah, that's cool. Love it, mate. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and readers? And that's wrong as well. Fucking hell. I haven't done an interview for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? I'm rusty. Right. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
well, just thank you for the support. Thank you for checking this out. Go check out the music. New singles out now. Get the album in August. And thank you for having us today.